In what could be termed as the height of government inefficiency, the country in its 70-year-old budget history faces a situation of complete financial lockdown from midnight to night. The unprecedented scenario has been triggered by the continuous obstruction posed by the main opposition, CPN-UML, preventing the replacement bill from being endorsed. Good morning, I am Bipashna Tamang and these are the headlines of the hour. The country faces a financial deadlock as budget fails to get through the parliament. Government unable to spend from the state coffers until the replacement budget is endorsed. Most of the ministries remains vacant 2 months since the government formation, affecting the state work execution. A major dispute breaks out between leaders of the Taliban. Row stems from who should take credit for Taliban victory. And Oman proved too strong for Nepal. Register 5-wicket victory. Jatinder shines with the bat for Oman. The government is to face a financial deadlock as it will not be able to mobilize expenditure budget from midnight to night as the meeting of the House of Representatives failed to endorse the replacement budget. The government will now only be able to collect taxes while the 60-day deadline to endorse the budget bill replacing budget ordinance will come to an end today. Constitutionally, any ordinance tabled at the parliament is required to ratify within 60 days. The lower house meeting has been adjourned until Monday next week after passing the proposal to consider the replacement budget bill amid the ongoing obstruction from the main opposition. Prime Minister Shah Bahadur Deuba said that the country's economic activities would not come to a standstill even if the bill was not endorsed. Finance Minister Janardhan Sharma also said that government expenditure could be halted for a week if the replacement budget bill was not endorsed by the parliament, adding that it won't make a significant difference for the government. Minister Sharma also said that the government would take the bill to regular parliamentary procedure for the endorsement, even if the main opposition denied for any consensus. The main opposition, CPN-UML, however, claimed that the government has not discussed with it so far and warned the government and Speaker will be held responsible for any consequences. It will take at least 2 weeks to authenticate the budget bill if it is endorsed through parliamentary procedure. This is the first time the country is embracing financial deadlock in 70 years of budget history due to inter-party politics. Prime Minister Shah Bahadur Deuba has not been able to expand the cabinet despite the lapse of 2 months in office. Most of the ministries thus are vacant, which has hindered the government's work of identifying its goals so far. The government has remained indecisive in procuring fertilizers at a time when the demand is at its peak. The administrations have been limited to regular jobs while the public are facing high prices and black marketing with major festivals approaching. Likewise, the government has not been able to take any diplomatic initiatives in Darchula incident due to absence of foreign minister, while the state minister is leading the health ministry during the ongoing pandemic. Prime Minister Deuba himself is leading 17 ministries due to the delay in the cabinet expansion. The Nepali Congress chief assumed office 2 months ago and had assured of meeting public expectations and safeguard constitution, parliamentary system and democratic values. Experts, however, have opined that the incumbent government has been derailed from its track due to vested interest of ruling alliance partners, resulting in the delay in the cabinet expansion. And we'll take a short break here. We have more news coming up. Welcome back. Lumbini provincial member Bimala Kumari Khatri has alleged former chief minister of the province, Shankar Pokhrel, and 3 others of keeping her in captive. Provincial Assembly member Bimala Khatri Oli has alleged that former Chief Minister Pokhrel had held her in captivity for 5 days beginning 30th of July earlier this year. She has claimed that she was brought all the way from Dang to Lumbini and was held in captivity. Even as she reported the case in Butwal, the case has not been registered as the incident took place in Dang. At least 1,500 children, according to the National Child Rights Council, have lost one or both of their parents since the COVID-19 pandemic began. Around 29,000 children across the country in total are orphans and are either living with their relatives, guardians, or in some cases, social institutions. The government, however, lacks a concrete data on how many children have lost their parents and are in need of state's care. A rural municipality, Sani Bheti in Rukum district, took initiatives itself to provide orphan children with allowances. The Bagmati province government has announced of providing 2,000 rupees as social security allowance to orphan children living with their relatives or guardians. However, many children who lost their parents to COVID-19 have been living in child shelters. Likewise, many are also deprived of quality education and health services even as they receive allowances from the government and are living with their guardians. As schools have remained shut due to the pandemic, 55% of students of community schools and rural regions have been deprived of education, according to the Education Ministry. In case of Rupandehi Child Detention Center, only 16 of the children between the age of 11 to 18 have been receiving education. Children have themselves also reported of poor living conditions of such centers. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked in Salyan, Kailali, Janakpur and Tanahu who should be responsible of orphan children. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
त्यस्ता बालबालिकाहरूको उचित संरक्षणका लागि व्यवस्था गर्नु राज्यको दायित्व हो।
सबैभन्दा पहिले चाहिँ शिक्षा दिनुपर्छ र यो जिम्मा चाहिँ राज्यले नै लिनुपर्छ।
स्थानीय सरकार लगायत संघीय सरकार सबैलाई मिलेरै गरेर यसलाई लिनुपर्ने जिम्मा हुन्छ।
पहिला गाउँ समुदायदेखि पहल हुनु पर्यो नि।
धेरै छन् सङ्घ संस्थाहरू, ती सङ्घ संस्थाहरूले सुरक्षितसँग राखिदिनु पर्ने जस्तो लाग्छ।
राज्य भनेको सर्वोच्च निकाय हो, उसले जनताको सेवा सुरक्षा गर्नै पर्छ।
It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And here's the question: why have investments in medical education scholarships failed to produce desired results? The options are option A, insincere beneficiaries, option B, lack of monitoring mechanism, and option C, impractical clauses. The voting is on. Type any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And time now for the sports update.
Sports News.
Nepal suffered a 5-wicket defeat at the hands of home team Oman in the second match of their tri-series under the ICC World Cup League 2. This is Nepal's third consecutive loss against Oman. Electing to bat first at Al Merit Stadium in Oman, Nepal were bowled out for a below-par score of 196 runs. Asif Sheikh and Gyanendra Molla added 58 runs for the second wicket after the early fall of Kushal Bhurtel. Asif anchored the Nepal innings as wickets fell at regular interval after the departure of skipper Gyanendra Molla for 21 runs. Asif fell short of a century as he topped squad for Nepal with 90 runs. There were some late hitting by Karan Casey, who scored 21 runs, while Sandeep Lamichhane chipped in with 16 runs. Bilal Khan was the most successful Oman bowler with 4 wickets. In reply, Oman chased the victory target in the 32nd over, losing only 5 wickets. Oman opener Jatinder Singh scored a hard-hitting century. Jatinder scored 30 runs off a 1 over from Sumpal Kami. It was Jatinder Singh's from one-day 100 as he departed after scoring 107 runs. Nepal spin ace Sandeep Lamichhane didn't bowl as he reported of some problems with his stomach. Karan Casey and Kushal Molla shared 2 wickets each for Nepal. Nepal will next take on America on Friday. Manchester United were stunned by Swiss club Young Boys in a match played under Champions League late yesterday. Manchester United shot into the lead by virtue of their new signing Cristiano Ronaldo in the 13th minute. However, Red Devils were reduced to 10 men in the 35th minute as Aaron Wan was flashed a direct red card after an ugly tackle on Christopher Martins. With the number advantage, Young Boys surged into the match with a 66th minute equalizer by Maumi Gamalu. There was more drama in store as Young Boys clinched the match at the stroke of long whistle with a goal by Jordan Sibachu. In another match of this group, Villarreal and Atlanta played an enterprising 2-2 draw. In other matches, Lille and Wolfsburg played a goalless stalemate, while Sevilla and Salzburg were locked at 1-1. Bayern Munich hammered Barcelona 3-0 in another match under Champions League. The match played at Nou Camp was dominated by visiting Bayern Munich right from the start. Thomas Müller provided the breakthrough for Bayern in the 34th minute. Leading by a goal in the first half, Bayern added 2 more goals in the second half. Robert Lewandowski doubled the lead for Bayern in the 56th minute, silencing the partisan Nou Camp crowd. Lewandowski scored again in the 85th minute to seal the 3-0 victory. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.